What did you do today? Eat breakfast, go to work, take care of your family? What may seem like a humdrum and predictable existence became the focus of a new documentary. We caught up with Academy Award-winning director Kevin Macdonald in July when he sounded a call to action for people around the world, including right here in South Carolina, to film an ordinary day in their lives. The result is something quite extraordinary. Joining us now is director Kevin Macdonald. It's so good to see you again. And in just a few short months, you've completed yet another ambitious project of its kind, Life in a Day. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back.
Can you share what this experience was like?
Well, it's nerve-wracking when you put a call out around the world and say, film, send your stuff in. You don't know if anyone's going to respond. But we had an overwhelming amount of material. We were a bit worried we'd be swamped by it, actually. We had almost 14,000 hours of material, 320-something different, 320,000 different submissions, 192 countries, and that's a huge job to get it done. I had a team of 50 people who speak many languages who watched it, logged it, put it in a database, and did a star system to show me these are the 4 and 5 stars, these are the best bits, with the great characters. And that was what I watched, to find a narrative for our 85-minute film that premiered at Sundance Festival 2 nights ago.
Yes, and can you tell us, though, what it was that you were looking for? Because when you tell someone, I just want to see what you do in your everyday, normal life, but what was the extraordinary that you were looking in the ordinary?
Well, I think there's 2 types of material that are in the film. One is just the very mundane, ordinary things, and seeing how people are doing those same things all around the world. And that there's a real beauty in that ordinariness. But there's also then, of course, people who are experiencing something really out of the ordinary. So people who have lost loved ones due to COVID, that is going on quite a bit. There's people who are getting married in masks or socially distanced. There's a man who's proposing to his girlfriend and she rejects him, and for some reason he still sent in the clip. So you travel the world and you experience what people are doing, both the very, very ordinary and these extraordinary, life-changing events that are happening to certain individuals.
And for our viewers who are not familiar with Life in a Day, based on the global success of your original documentary that it was co-produced by Ridley Scott, this was done a decade ago in 2010. So I can only imagine how different things were this time around than they were back in 2010. One of those things, not just COVID, but people have become quite technologically savvy these days. Just smartphone cameras have improved tremendously. Would you say that this was a benefit to your latest film, or do you think it detracts at all? Does it become too much the star rather than the actual person being filmed?
Well, no, you're right. There's pros and cons. The pros are that, first of all, many, many more people around the globe have access to a good quality phone with a camera on it, and to the internet. And so this is a much more diverse film. There's far less that's from Western Europe and from the United States. That's the positive side of it. And also people hold the camera the right way around, and they make sure the air conditioning is off before they they film something. So those things are good. But the negative side, I suppose, is that a lot of people send in kind of, selfie-like shots of themselves, and they're all done up and looking perfect, or they're kind of vloggers, influencers who are trying to use it as a way to get more people to visit their site. But that was, that stuff was there, but that's not what we wanted. It's not what we focused on. We wanted authenticity, reality, what people really, really are going through on a day-to-day basis. And I think in the end, what you get is this amazing emotional roller coaster through the day. It starts at midnight, ends at midnight. We start with this montage of women around the world giving birth, and it's both beautiful and terrifying. You're terrified for all these little babies, but it's an amazingly emotional opening. And then we end, towards the end of the film, we're with a group of old people who are all telling us their kind of wisdom of life. So it's a journey through a day, but a journey through life also.
So it's almost like just an amalgamation of the entire world from from beginning to end. So there is this thread, the story, an arch through the film that takes you through many different lives to a finality.
That's right. So we try to give it a story of some sort. It has the story of a day, the story of life, but it also moves through different themes. And so there's a section on COVID, there's a section on love, there's a section on animals, because we found as we were watching this, there were so many amazing clips from around the world of animals taking over our cities. Because with COVID and everyone inside, you had amazing shots of camels walking down the road somewhere and monkeys, on apartment blocks, and so that became a big theme. And those are the things where you couldn't know in advance that was going to be something that would come across so strongly, but it does. And there's also recurring characters. There are characters who come in at the beginning and we see them several points during the film and their stories unfold.
I have to ask, now you did this with 10-year increments, so you've done 2 so far. Do you foresee doing another one in another 10 years?
If you'd asked me that last, July 26th, after we got 15,000 hours, I would have said, oh, no, I can't do this again. But you know what? Honestly, the answer is yes. I think it's turning into an amazing kind of time capsule of this era. And it's the era of the internet, of technology that we have on our phones and our persons, and how that technology is changing our lives and how we're recording our lives. So yeah, I now feel like this is my life's mission. I'm going to do one of these every 10 years till I drop.
Now, as a film director who has also directed feature films, but often based on real people, real moments in history, do you have any advice for people as you wait for the next 10 years to pass, with YouTube and with just kind of a lot of people seeing this as an opportunity for them to become a star, that now we live kind of in a society where everyone can be a star. Do you have any advice for them on just being a normal human being and just know that their time will come? Should it come?
That's such an interesting question, because that is one of the tensions in this film. Obviously, a lot of people who are filming it's because they want their life to be acknowledged, to be recognized. They want to share what they're going through with other people, and I think that's a universal, or pretty much universal, kind of desire. On the other hand, you have people for whom it's about narcissism, and for whom it's about, make me famous, make me famous, make me famous. That is not interesting for a filmmaker, because it's very flat and boring. It's the same with everyone. But I think that, the things that appeal to a filmmaker like me, and I think probably to almost any filmmaker, are authentic, emotional things that are going on. And that's why this film, I think, is an incredibly emotional experience, because you are seeing a lot of people undergoing things that are really life-changing events. Yeah. And it's an emotional roller coaster watching this. I think if you're a kind of crier, you definitely, this is a six hanky picture, as they used to say.
I cannot wait to see this. And so it had its premiere at Sundance. It will have its premiere on YouTube Saturday, February 6th. We are so excited to see this. And I think it would probably be a good idea for people to also watch the one you did back in 2010 so that they can compare and contrast how life has changed over the decade.
Yeah, that is certainly fascinating. I find that fascinating myself. It's really interesting to see what's changed.
That's wonderful. Kevin Macdonald, thank you so much. And congratulations again on just this tremendously ambitious project that you've completed. This is wonderful.
Thank you very much. Nice to talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Very good to talk to you. We're back after this.